We are looking good and strong. Pontus and Onyeka is still just too short to be involved in the squad. Both Frank is training fully last 2 days, and Pontus is just close to full training. So positive. The rest are fit and ready.
And what a game in prospects against the league leaders. 1938, the last time that Brentford won at Arsenal. The way you're playing and beaten in 9, how optimistic are you about this fixture?
I'm always positive. I always believe that we can win, and also believe that we can go to Emirates and win tomorrow. But, and a big but, we are facing Arsenal, top of the league. I said after we lost 3-0 at home to them that people asked me, can Arsenal win the league? And I said yes. I'm always speaking as, okay, from my point of view, honest. I said yes, I massively believe in that they can do that. And since they only been going from strength to strength, and I think they have a fantastic position. I think not only they're top of the league, it's well deserved they're top of the league. They look in sync. They have all their key players fit and available, and at home they play with an unbelievable intensity. So if we need to get anything out of this game, we need to top perform. Not only top perform, probably put the best performance out there, the best we ever put out in the Premier League game. Still believe that we can do that, but it needs to be top. And it's well deserved. I think Arteta have done a top job from building that culture over, I think, 3 years, something like that, taking difficult decisions with players, more and more sharp on the style of play. Arteta and his staff have done a top job. Pleased to see the 2 former colleagues and good friends in Nicolas Chauvet and Erik, the goalkeeper coach, a set-piece coach, a goalkeeper coach. They've done a top job there as well. So always happy when people are doing well.
Despite what you say, though, obviously beaten by City in the cup and then beaten again by Everton last weekend. What did you make of that Everton defeat?
I think Everton were good. I think they were very good in that game. That's a big praise to Sean Dyche and his staff and the Everton players. I think they won deservedly. It happens in a game, so they, of course, like they also have said, they want to bounce back and they want to come flying out. That make them maybe even more dangerous to face tomorrow. And with Saka and Martinelli, if not the 2 best wingers this moment in time, or especially in-form wingers, also one of the most successful on dribbles and ball carry situations. They are very tricky. I think Nketiah have done fantastic to take over from Jesus. And then, of course, the playmaker, the man who runs the show, Rudiger, he looks very good.
If I may, just 2 non-Brentford questions which we're asking the managers this week. Obviously, European Super League is back on the agenda. A couple of years ago, Brentford were pretty happy when the 6 Premier League clubs withdrew from the original plan. But what have you made of more talk about European Super League?
I think it's a very complicated issue, and I have a very complicated game tomorrow, so I'll focus on that.
You don't have a complicated opinion?
I think that'll be way too complicated to answer that, and so not this moment in time. Thank you.
So I'm not too hopeful with the following one then. So Manchester City facing a whole raft of charges for financial breaches. If any of them stick, will what we've done in the Premier League, will those Premier League wins be tainted?
Another, sorry for repeating myself, complicated issue, and I will focus on the complicated game tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Hi. So far this season, you've beaten Manchester United, you've beaten City, you've beaten Liverpool, and I've heard a lot of people talk about how Brentford, they respect opponents, but they're not fearful of opponents. You can play without fear. Is it now, we're at the stage now, after going 9 unbeaten and as well as you're going, where people start to fear you? Anyone in the Premier League.
That would be big for us if anyone fears. But I hope that they respect us for what we are capable of, and that we are difficult to play against, and we always can or hopefully will stay in games. I think the reason why I said earlier that I think we need to put our best ever performance out there is not only are we facing the number one in the league, and they're also well deserved there. They play fantastic football. Also have all their players fit. And the final thing I actually forgot to say earlier, and I just remembered was, and they also play with that bit between their teeth. You know, that extra edge and determination. You know, they can smell that they have a chance to win the gold, of course. And I understand that they don't want to talk about it and only talk about next game, so they're doing all the right thing. It's just looking from the outside, you can just see that they, you know, it's like the season where Liverpool won the first championship, and you can just see it. They are running harder both ways. In the duels, they are giving everything. And on top of that, they are top footballers. So you can just see they're so eager to win it. That makes it even more difficult to beat them now. And I think they are favorite. Of course, they're huge favorites tomorrow against us. But in general, they are favorites to win it. I know they don't want to talk about it, and it's not to do anything about mind games, anything. It's just look at the performances, look at the other team's performances, look at a fit team and the way they play. I think actually it's just hugely praise to Arteta, his staff, and his players.
Do you, over the last couple of seasons, has there been a change in mindset amongst your players? Have you noticed the fact that they've got these results against some of the bigger teams, that they're no longer going into games thinking, or feeling that everyone else is looking at them as underdogs, but going as actually, you know, we can go toe-to-toe with these guys, so we have a different mindset. Do you sense that?
I think this group of players have in this group of players, there's a lot of strong characters. And they have been growing together, and as individuals been stronger, better, even better mentality. And as a group, there's a big belief in the group. So we go into actually every game to believe that we can win. We know that we need to run a lot and we need to defend a lot tomorrow against Arsenal, but believe we can do something. Of course, we know we need to perform fantastic, but it's a good feeling to go into the game and know, okay, if we top perform, there is potentially something for us here, definitely.
And you say that you'll expect to have to defend a lot. The last time we played Arsenal, they scored 3 against you. If you look at your current run, clean sheet in the last 3, I think it's only 1 goal in the last 5 league matches. Well, what's been the key to that tightened defence? Have you noticed a tightening of the defence in that period since you conceded those 3 against Arsenal?
I think after that, we lost to Villa and Newcastle, didn't we? I think 4-0 away and 5-1 away. So I think overall our almost a little bit more than what are close to 60 games in the Premier League. We've always been quite strong defensively, good structure, good mentality, good principles, and that's something we constantly work on. And now we are in a spell where everything is like a little bit melded together, so it's a little bit, it's just working. And hopefully we can continue that tomorrow. Every game is a new chapter, new history, so we don't know what we're going to face. Maybe we are behind 3-0 after 10 minutes, hopefully not. Maybe it's 0-0 after 80, and everything can happen. So we don't know, but we go into the game with a big belief.
And you talked about Arsenal having the bit between their teeth, but they have had a couple of defeats, which is something they haven't really experienced this season so far. And it is a young team, a developing team as well. Are they facing challenges now in this second half of the season that maybe they haven't had? When people start talking about them saying, yeah, it's theirs to lose now, does it become a completely different game for Arsenal?
It does. Of course it does. No doubt about that. But I'm convinced that Arteta and his staff, they're doing everything they can in a good way to focus on the thing they can affect. And the things they can affect is to perform well, execute their game plan well against us, and then they hopefully from their perspective can win the game. But the mental side is of course big. It is in every football match, and the best teams, they're also mentally strong. And if you want to win a championship, you need to overcome the few defeats you will get in a season. And I'm sure that Arsenal will do that. Hopefully not tomorrow. I hope that we can win, and then they can continue winning the rest of their games. Let's see.
And just finally from me, before the World Cup, there was a lot of fixture congestion. It was weekend, midweek, weekend, and so on. At the moment, you look at your run of fixtures coming up, and it's Saturday. You've got a week off because the match against Man United has been moved as well. How much of a difference does that make in terms of recovery and preparing for games? You know, is it almost a luxury? Does it feel like a luxury for myself that time?
Yeah, definitely a luxury. You know, if it's 3 games a week, fine. If it's 1 game, sorry, it must be 2, depending on how you see it. But it's a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, or a Saturday. I prefer the Saturday in terms I think we can prepare even better for every game. It's easier to get around all the details and the information we would like to give to the players. So that's what I prefer. But when it is a lot of games, we also deal with that. We've been playing in the Championship and in the most congested spell ever under COVID. So we have a plan for that as well. But it's nice in a good way to be able to prepare well. You're welcome.
Dan?
Hi, Thomas. Given Arsenal missed out on top 4 last season, are you surprised how quickly they've come in such a short space of time? I mean, obviously, not many expected them to be competing for a title this season.
No, I think that's the part of the beauty of football. You know, you never truly know what will happen in the season that has just started. Let's say last season in the summer, when you never know what will going to happen. All the so-called experts, they are clever and try to predict who's going to win the title and who will be top 4 and who will be relegated. And it's very, very rare that everyone nail it. I think it's again big credit to Arsenal. I think maybe I don't know. I think was it Saliba who came back this summer? Is maybe the missing link. Zinchenko and Jesus. I think that was 3 important players. With that, Martinelli, Saka, also Ødegaard, even that he is a little bit more experienced. You know, they are a year older, 1 year more in that culture, that group, that style of play, and that is just clicking. It's almost like I think it was in Liverpool when I don't know in what position they finished before they became champions, but I think in that season they became champions. Wasn't that the season where Van Dijk and Alisson came, more or less? So just 2 missing links, boom, that was to complete the jigsaw. That's just perfect. Maybe a little bit the same here.
Down the Briar said he's turned down a couple of contract offers with the club. What's your kind of understanding of the situation? Are you still hoping that he will sign a deal and stay longer term? Are you confident that will be the case?
I think if he turned it down twice, I think unfortunately that's a signal that he maybe don't want that. I think we put 2 really good offers out there, but that's fine. It's a free world. We can't force anyone. That said, David has been amazing for us. Coming from Blackburn 3.5 years. Oh, time flies. 3.5 years ago. Done fantastic. The first season for me, best keeper in the Championship. Then was involved in the playoff final with a mistake there. Clearly remember after the final or the day after, I can't remember that. I said, you will come back stronger. I want you even higher, more braver position than the year after where we did it, all of us together. And I think he'd taken that form into the Premier League, and I think he's one of the best keepers in this league right now, and he's very focused. He's been focused today training. He'll be focused tomorrow, and every day he's here. I'm happy for that.
That contract situation doesn't really come into your thinking when you're thinking longer term. I mean, in terms of day to day, you still just want to. Obviously, he's been brilliant this season. You want to keep playing, and it doesn't affect that at all.
He's one of the captains, David, Christian, Ivan, and Pontus, and he is leading with his performances and his behaviour every day. Top character. You're welcome.
Anything else for immediate embargo? Yes, Jay.
Quickly, just wanted to start on something quite sad about the news about Sergio Palace's mother. I just wanted to know if you've kind of spoken to him since you found out about that.
Yeah, it's very sad. We are all emotional touch about it. It's of course a personal matters between Sergi and his family and us and Sergi. So I think we just leave it there.
That's fine. And just on Thomas Rikocha, because I know he missed the last game and you weren't too fully sure what had happened. Was there any update on that? How's he doing now?
Yeah, a little tricky situation with his ankle. Shouldn't be too long, but will miss out on the game tomorrow.
It's been a bit of a frustrating first few months for Thomas, because obviously he's kind of had those injuries and he came from Lazio, he was playing week out, and it feels like he's not really had the chance to really push that bit yet.
Yeah, hugely frustrating for all of us, but especially for Thomas, of course. As he said to me the other day, he think he's only been out for 1 week in his whole career. Suddenly he's been out for 3 or 4 months. So that's a completely different test of his mentality and mental, health or awareness. And of course, it's very tough for him. And I hope he'll come back soon. Very good character. Very happy to work with him. So I just think he's been very unlucky.
So he won't be available tomorrow? Then?
Not available tomorrow. Hopefully soon again.
And then just final one from me for now. Obviously, Dan's just kind of asked you a couple of questions about David, and you've called him, one of the best goalkeepers in the league. And when you look at how much money some clubs are spending in January on 21, 22-year-old players, I just wanted to know how much is David worth to you as well?
I hope he will stay forever. Of course, it looks like it could be potentially difficult with the contract situation. He must be, what should we say, of a good number? At least 40 plus, at least, if not more.
Thank you.
Actually, if he had 3 years, he would be 70. What was Kepa? Was he sold for?
70, I think.
He's at least as good as him. So.
Thank you.